Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Horror Trash Podcast. I am Galaxy, and I am here to guide you through our galactical podcast.
That was a good maniacal
Obviously,
laugh.
the break really worked. You are here today with Galaxy
Hello. Oh. I was reading, sorry.
and her friends, Jared,
Hi.
Roel,
Hey.
Ernest,
Hello.
and Miss I Did Nothing on Thanksgiving but got a haircut, Mix.
Hey,
Your hair looks great, by the way.
thank you.
So today is Thanksgiving, guys. How was y'all's Thanksgiving? Jared,
It was good. It was fun.
what
That's all
did
you
you
need
do?
to know. That's all you need to know.
Okay. He did say that he made his mom cry, but we'll get into that later.
I played a board game, guys.
Roel, how was your Thanksgiving?
Thanksgiving was good. It was really
Was
good.
it better than Japan?
Nothing is better than Japan.
Because
For
you
me
did
now.
go to Japan, correct?
I did go to Japan. Yeah.
Wait, why did you go to Japan?
Oh, because I've been in love with that place since high school.
Is this your first time
First time what?
going to Japan?
Yes.
Oh my God.
Is this your first time
Yes.
in general?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, good.
Did you see the cherry blossom trees?
No, that's
Blossoming
not
cherries?
so March. I went during
I don't know. I'm not a topiographer. Ernest, how was your Thanksgiving?
Mine was fine. I just ate, and that's really it. Didn't mingle with anybody.
Attaboy.
Mix?
It's good. I did nothing but
Nothing.
nap
You
and
didn't eat?
no.
No, that's what she's
I went to a
paying.
Mexican restaurant in the morning and ate.
She's a down fool. That's why.
Well, these are the super awesome, lively people that we have to join us today for today's episode. So here at the Horror Trash Podcast, we will be picking a movie to watch, dissect, and review with each other based off of things that we think are horror trashful. So
What does that mean?
it means horror trash, like the podcast is called.
That makes sense. I fully understand now. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
So this week, She Comes Tonight.
She did, in more ways than one. Roel, can you please tell us, in your best what is
I
it?
will try
elevator
my
speech,
best.
what this is
Oops.
about?
Wait,
Tonight She Comes.
I just got a note in my ear. The movie's actually called Tonight She Comes. Sorry,
Now, what
my
is
note
this?
prepare was not prepared.
Yes, and so what is if you could bring it into a sentence or two, give us a synopsis of Tonight She Comes.
Oof. Okay. So, as far as I can tell, because this movie
Art.
was yeah, artfully good. A couple of
No.
girls go to a lake house while some other gentlemen just so happen to stumble upon them, and all of those people stumble upon another family that just so happens to be living on this lake house, but at the same time there is an evil entity trying to kill everyone, which we are assuming is because of satanic dark rituals.
Like the movie that started off horrible, but ended up really well. Thank you, Roel.
You're welcome.
Okay, so yes, like that was a good point. The movie started very badly. I believe the first 60 minutes could have been taken off of this movie.
1-6 or 6-0?
Actually, 6-0. Okay, so basically, I'm going to try to break this into a typical 3-act dissection here of the movie. So, the first act is really just the introduction of characters, if you can call it introduction. It really is not an introduction. You have what we are told is a postman delivering mail to a very like an isolated cabin,
Yeah, that dude sucks.
and he's taking a friend with him that is a chronic masturbator, which we find out very early on.
The Hot Jew.
Sure. And we're also
Really? You think so?
introduced.
Oh yeah,
Wait, he's Jew?
No, I meant hot.
he's Jewish and 10-10 would
You
bang.
need to get really close to that mic. I can hear him.
Yeah, he was good looking,
Thank
The
you.
chronic
Really?
masturbator?
but a creep. Yeah,
Yeah,
Wow.
he wasn't that much of a creep. Okay, we'll get into it after the first act.
Yeah. Okay.
Gay guys have weird taste.
She said it too.
She's a gay guy.
I'm not a gay guy.
She's got her hair, dude. So
She's got a gay guy hairdo.
Mhm.
Okay, so anyways, and we're also met by these two individuals, these two females that are pretty much annoying, are also heading up to find their friend, which I think disappeared up there because their friend's family lives up there in this cabin, which that's never really talked about outside of that.
you're never
It's
told
so-
why she gets there first, though.
It sounds like they're meeting up with her, and in the very beginning, it's the two friends, lady friends, and they talk about her not answering the phone
Yeah.
when they go up to.
It seems
I
like
guess
they're
when
all
they're
like
going up
best
to meet her.
friends.
Yeah.
Yeah, it seems like they're all best friends and they're
High
like,
school friends getting together for college or after in college. Christy's the one that's missing. Ashley and Lindsay are the two that are together.
Yes, and so everyone meets up over there, and hijinks happens. The chronic masturbator decides randomly that he wants to be left alone to go in the woods
It's shit.
to take a poop, which is going to take, I guess, that long.
Poo poo caca.
I can relate.
And then the postman, doing his best,
Oh god,
Work
that
ever-
postman was the worst.
decides. I don't think he technically ever delivered it. Is this correct?
No, he never delivered the damn
No,
letter.
he knocked on the door and like called for her, looking
Yeah.
for her.
Like most postmen
Searching-
do.
you have
with your
one
letter.
job.
searching the whole house, and then he decides to take a nap.
Yes, he goes to sleep.
Like, okay, like that doesn't make any sense.
So the
but
girl-
all right.
Find a mailbox and just put the damn letter in the
Yeah,
mailbox
or leave it
and
on the
leave.
fucking like door. You know?
There's many ways that he could have done his job right, none of which he did. So the girls show up. They meet with that one guy. I am missing some moments where they're topless and playing around, 80s kind of.
I
movie.
love how
And the guy
we don't call
masturbates
it.
to
Yeah, the guy
them.
masturbates to them.
with a what is it, a telescope
Oh,
the
yeah.
telescope.
that he pulls out of nowhere to look at them.
Yeah,
Also,
Pete. Yeah,
somehow-
how did his
but-
name was Pete? Yeah.
name was
And he holds the telescope with one hand while masturbating.
Loudly.
But I also want to get across that.
I like
not-
to
It
call
sounded
it-
like he was having a hard time like
Getting
masturbating.
it out.
Yeah.
Well, he just did a session like a couple of minutes before that.
In his friend's
And
back
in-
seat.
yeah, in the back seat in the mail.
I do want to say though, but the girls can see him very clearly. They see, oh, what are you
So-
doing, masturbating? I see you over there. They can.
They're
identify
like
him really
in
well.
that lake was pretty long, and he had to pull that out. So how did they see him on the other side to be like, is that guy's dick out? Like,
Yeah, they saw something very. I don't know how they saw it, but
I don't
anyways,
understand either.
Well, you know, masturbation makes your eyesight go, so obviously he's not going to see as well as they do. Girls don't masturbate.
Oh,
So I've
it's
heard.
true. And not even the
Don't
not
hear
even
that.
Just so you know,
what just happened over there.
My stomach made the weirdest, like,
I thought that was the
rocket
dog.
ship noise.
I thought it was the dog.
so wait, hold on. So Galaxy's stomach made a very strange noise, as if his ship is
rocket
departing.
ship.
Actually, that's a good segue because that's almost kind of what the sounds were happening in the first scene, opening credit scenes of the movie.
Oh, I
What happened? What?
go on.
Well, the girl in the woods at the very beginning of the movie, like something's coming out of her stomach and she's like freaking out. It's making the rumbly noise. And
Yeah.
A
Okay.
lot
So
of the things in this movie don't really make a lot of sense.
exactly. And okay, so let's get through the first act before we really
okay,
break it down. 'Cause
If
we're
the
already-
review sounds like all over the place, it's just like this movie.
This movie is all over the place. There is very little structure. So the two girls meet up with the postman, and they all get drunk together like everything's okay. It's a normal thing, and
it is a normal thing. when
what's
you're
the name of
just
the
trying to bang.
Lindsay?
Lindsay is the redhead.
Okay.
Ashley's the brunette.
Wait, which one is Ashley again?
The brunette.
So
Ashley's the redhead. She's redheaded, isn't
No,
she?
Lindsay is the brunette.
Well, there's three girls. So how do you differentiate them?
Christy's the one that's
Ashley
missing.
Ashley is the redhead.
That's what I said.
Yeah.
I've been saying it the whole time.
So Lindsay decides that she wants to sleep with this guy, and she's way too intoxicated. She's actually she's reversed her aging by getting drunk. She's now a little girl that's
Well,
trying to
her-
have sex with this guy, and
I like how they're battling. The girls are kind of trying to undercut each other for this guy's
Well,
dick.
he was hot as well. I applaud this movie for bringing us some
meet
hot men.
I agree.
Well, I mean,
guys.
that's cool.
Sorry.
It's all about.
I mean,
the
I get
dad.
it. There was a completely naked woman the entire movie. So
Yeah.
So anyway, so
I thank them for that.
all this is happening. Then the lady in the water comes out.
Well, no.
No.
The
There's
friend the friend finds the
Yeah, that's right.
missing
The
girl.
friend finds the lady in the water before she's in the water. She
Is
gets her
that
phone.
The masturbator.
Yeah, the
finds-
masturbator. Thank
The
you.
masturbator pees on her hand.
He finds
I
Christy.
love that, by the way.
So the masturbator finds Christy, which is the missing girl, and he finds her phone, and he ends up calling either Lindsay or Ashley. I forgot which one, but he calls one of them. Leaves a message just saying,
But you're missing some very, very vital things that happen in that scene, though.
Like,
Oh, that he takes pictures of her while she's passed out,
This
and
dude
he was gonna
is
like try to make out with her.
yes, this dude is uber
Well-
perv. How can you pass that? How do you?
Honestly, I
just
thought
pass
she
that?
was dead. So like,
I know, me too.
I'm gonna take
and then,
pictures.
like, she started moving. So it was,
Yeah, this guy like literally takes his phone out to take pictures of this girl, moves her supposedly dead corpse around to put her in another pose to where he's facing her because she's naked in the woods dead, takes a couple more pictures, then tries to make out with her. But before all of this, the guy like drops his phone because he's looking down, and he drops his phone on her chest, then freaks out and somehow doesn't know how to bend over a log to grab his phone without touching the body, so he falls on the body. Like, this guy.
Well, you're
is a
forgetting that he
piece of-
pees on her.
Well, he does pee on her.
and then he tries to wipe it off.
Wipe it off with his shirt while straddling her, trying to reach
It's
the
his
hand to.
so yes. So all that being said, so eventually, we assume that she
While he's calling, like as soon as he's done calling the friend and leaving a message, she gets up and I guess,
it's
attacks him.
it's
She's not
hinted.
dead.
It's basically hinted, but it is what happens. She kills him and she covers herself entirely with blood. Then she goes in the water to come after the other couple, and day turns
That
into
takes
night.
a couple hours.
Yeah, day turns into
Yeah,
night.
she walks very slowly.
We are missing the little tiny thread through all of
wait,
this.
wait! Not only does she go in the water covered in blood, she
Oh,
comes
she's
out of it
yeah.
covered
Covered
in
in
blood still.
Yeah, and it's very wet blood. It's not washed out for anything. This is blood.
But through all of these scenes, from the beginning to now, there seems to be some weird. There's a stalker among them that they don't
You're
even
right, there is a
realize
stalker.
that there is. And in between all of these scenes, there's a heavy breathing, first person view stalker.
There's two of them. They actually
Yeah,
show that there's two.
there's two, and they're following each one. But then when the dead body rises, apparently that scares off one of the stalkers. So now we're to believe that everybody's being watched by some other people,
Yes.
as well as being possibly going to get attacked by this undead body.
You're right.
I
Because
thought it was the backwoods people.
So
closer, Mike.
I thought it was the backwoods people following them.
It was.
well,
was.
it was,
Okay.
but I'm saying but we're just missing that fact of like telling people through all of this.
We kind of glossed over that point.
Yeah.
That
Yeah, it did.
There's some-
It kind of hints to like a giallo
first
like kind
person
of thing.
stuff.
Yeah. Because we are assumed before she wakes up that maybe the first person killers are the one that killed her
that are killing them.
because she might be dead.
Yeah.
And
So now
he's
they're
getting off on it.
yeah, and this guy's about to die from these stalker weird.
Yes, and then she
backwood
wakes
people.
up.
Yeah, she wakes up and she ends up, we're assuming, kills him, and then when he gets killed, then we get to that point of where she's going through the water.
This is not the end of the first act, but I think this is a good stopping point to really go over that. Really, this is the setup for the countless amount of flaws that are about to come up after this. You brought up one about a entirely bloody girl goes in. These are fresh blood, so it's not really sticky yet. Goes into a body of water and comes out covered in that same blood entirely.
Are we going to call these
Also-
the movie boo-boos?
one thing I want to point out is
Movie
that
boobies.
there is timestamps in the movie where it actually shows the actual time during the day, but instead of actually putting the time, they write it out.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm kind of figuring they kind of did that as their cutesy way, as like so you don't actually like remember or like recognize what time it is until when they show the next one to show you how much time has passed.
So it's just
Yeah,
like
I
an
can see
editing
that.
trick, is what
Well,
it's
a lot
called.
of them.
No,
are,
no, no,
a lot
it's
of
just
them are
more like-
pointless, though. It'll be
Yeah,
like
it's-
11:36, and then it's like noon.
Well, it's all pointless because I think they just I don't know why they do that, but
So here's my.
I think they write it out so you won't actually recognize how much time has passed in between scenes
Yeah.
when it seems like the characters have done nothing
at all.
between that time.
Yeah, and I guess, well, not trying to jump too forward, but I mean, we're supposed to assume that this is all happening within one day's time because, obviously, with any supposed movie satanic
Yeah.
ritual, midnight is the hour that shit always supposed to hit the
the
fan.
hour of power.
Yep, it's true.
So I want to bring up something that I did gloss over at the very beginning, which really upset me right away, and it really
Besides
messed
the
movie up.
postman, god damn him.
No.
Listening to it very loud.
Yes. So at the beginning it says this movie is meant to be listened to like loudly or something like that. Loud as hell, I believe is what it reads. And the Foley is terrible in this. And in fact, the Foley at the beginning is so low. You have a door closing and it sounds so low. I just don't understand why they put that in there. I did have to raise my volume up my TV a little more than most movies. So I think that was actually a ploy because the sound in general was extremely low in this. But even if you're going to put that in there,
That's
there
good,
were
though.
some moments where the Foley was loud.
Mm-hmm.
Why
Mostly
say
the
that?
timestamps.
Yeah, just exactly. The timestamp Foley was loud, but why put that in there if all your Foley here, even the phone buzzing, I mean, it's all of it was really low. So that I guess you could say that shock factor, that sound scare, what's it called?
Jump scare.
Jump scare factor of having something very loud didn't even apply when it's set up for it. So I really don't know the purpose of that title card at the beginning telling you to put this up very loud.
I didn't listen to it anyways.
Yeah, you could be listening to it.
It's probably one of those things from back in the day of
And-
like this movie can kill you if
Yeah, it's just for hype.
And I'm going to bring up the camera work and the lighting on this was
Beautiful.
awful at the beginning.
Oh,
so
no.
this movie at the whole beginning was plagued with like you couldn't find a source for these lights. It made no sense why, like in the car at night, was much more lit than when the postman was driving in day. And the thing is, the way to light it, they had a light source coming from like somewhere in the car that was bright. But then, but like, you know, when you have the day shot of the postman, you just use that natural light. But the thing is that most people to use the at night shots, you'll use the shots of like the street lights passing by, and that'll provide you some light. Or you light the whole place evenly and then you bring it down in post. Instead, you have a harsh light on here, so it looks like there's a damn spotlight in the car.
Well, that's what happened in the initial scene where she's walking around the woods at night. There's obviously a light.
Oh yeah,
in-
the woods was very lit at the beginning.
I love how y'all bring this very technical aspect to it all. I'm just sitting there just so irritated by all of these things. I'm like, you're an idiot. Why did you do that in that? You could have just done this and got away with. And you, why are you?
Well,
You're
I think source light is very important. Like if you're gonna put big light out there, at least explain it. And you can get away with anything in your own universe as long as you explain it.
yeah. There was a very much of a, especially in the night scenes with the blood and her and everything. There was very much a purple hue to this blood and the look at times with that, which was
Yes.
kind of
And also,
weird.
in general, the characters one dimensional. There was nothing to them. They were annoying. They weren't even good enough for stereotypes. They were bad.
I don't even know what stereotypes they were going for.
I don't think they
with,
were. I think that's too sophisticated.
Any of them, because
I think they just found pretty people and said, say these lines, take your tops off.
probably.
That might be it because they were like, we as audience loves to follow someone or something in a movie. That's our connection to the story. And if we can't follow someone, then it's an ensemble piece that we identify with. Well, this is neither. There's no character to identify with or follow, and this is not an ensemble piece. So.
There's no main character in this movie.
Yeah, there is no
there's-
main character at
and there's
all.
no ragtag like we're all getting together to.
I mean,
fight
the
a-
main character is the bloody girl.
Yes, who she was.
That we know
beautiful.
nothing about.
It's she.
That's true. So that's basically, I guess you could say, the beginning part. So then we get to the next part where night actually hits. And this is one of the biggest editing issues that Ernest brought up. Do you want to talk about this, Ernest?
With the
Which
nighttime.
one? Where she comes out of the water
Yeah.
and
Point A to point
first of
B.
all, they're like have a little fire going, one person is at one of the girls is at the fire. The other two are trying to start the car, I guess, to leave, or to get out of there. And then they're talking like back and forth. He's trying to get laid by both of these girls, and then she comes out of the water. The Christy, she comes out of the water, and she's like trying to call for these people to come. The girl at the fire. She's coming out of the water. Sorry, excuse me. The people are still at the car. The girls at the fire. They're like maybe like 30 yards apart.
Yeah, they're a distance, a good distance away.
And so she comes out. The next shot, the other two people are right beside her.
Now, there's philosophies, or there's theories in physics where a particle can end up in an entire side quickly. So I think that's what this movie was
So
going
your
for.
theory is flawed.
And another thing, she didn't just say, "Hey guys, like come over here." I need
She-
you."
Yeah, she was like she was talking to herself.
No, she texted them.
Oh yeah, that's
She
right.
texted
So
them.
she didn't have the vocal capacity to scream for some
It's
reason.
like,
So what was that?
okay.
I
Yeah,
didn't.
she didn't even call them. She was just like kind of like saying some shit like
What I
this
didn't know
chick's
if,
coming out of the water, and then like all of a sudden, the next shot they're next to her.
but I don't know if she wasn't calling because I couldn't tell if she wasn't calling because she was scared to yell for them because then
No, she was talking to herself.
Yeah, she was talking to herself, but there's no way to be scared to yell. Oh, you're just saying
no
just by
because
fright,
when,
not
no
being
she
able to use her voice?
yes that's what I mean and we're supposed to assume that because there was no other reason for her to not try to yell to them. She was drunk, or her character was that drunk at that time, but not drunk enough to where she couldn't yell. So I guess we're assuming that when she sees the Christy get out of the water, she's kind of scared, and that's why she can't yell.
No, she's not, because they're all making jokes when
That's
she's
true.
trying to murder them.
They are making. They're being
No, this was
playful, they're
before.
joking.
This was before when she first came out of the water, and she's trying to call for them.
Well,
and
yeah.
then she uses the phone,
Well,
cell
but-
phone, to text or to try to call them,
Well-
and then they don't answer because the other girl's trying to undercut that girl to get that dude's dick.
But I think
And
what
then-
Ernest's point is being made is that there's no fear in general. Because, I mean,
Oh, no, I mean,
girl,
not
this girl
after,
coming
yeah.
out is not as scary from a distance as her right there trying to attack you.
Yeah.
They're making jokes while she's attacking her. So I don't know why her fear level would be this girl's coming rather than we don't know if she's bad or not versus this bad girl right here trying to kill us. Now it's time to joke. There's a see and look for the filmmaker. If you ever listen to this, I doubt you will. A lot of these things are not problematic. You just have to explain them or explain your universe better for it to exist. Of the absurdity or the comedy that you're trying to do, or for the character motivation of why they're doing this. This really felt like thrown together with a very loose plot is what it was, in my opinion. So, are we on to the next part of the movie? So basically,
I have a couple of notes.
yes. Go. Sorry, Galaxy.
Just to rewind.
Rewind.
One thing that kind of I was like, what? In the beginning, before there's any sexual tension established, they are, I forgot what they're doing exactly, but the dude, I think his name is James.
Mm-hmm.
He's with Lindsay, and they're sitting down. Oh, and then Ashley's throwing up because she drank too much, and they're like, she has such an ugly vomit face.
That's how they hook up.
Well, so he's like, haha, yeah, you're totally right. And he just sits next to her and puts his arm around her. And I'm like, what part of that was an invitation to come over?
Well, not only that, but before that, so they make fun of her ugly, like vomit
Vomit
face,
face.
and that's how they kind of start hooking up. But before that, they scared him so much that he peed his pants when they first met. So I'm like, so you're cool with pee pants to like fuck him?
To put his pee-pee.
Yeah, and now like, what? How is this? Any of these people like?
I just thought that
hooking
was
up?
really, like, this whole movie, they were pretty people, but they were not good people. And it made me
Yeah.
really realize, I think the goal of myself for this podcast is I want to find a movie where not everyone is a total shitbag.
Well, that's impossible.
Yeah, I was
You
gonna
need
say,
shitbags
you need a
because
shitbag.
that's going
Like,
to.
is there any movie that you don't hate anyone in? Where you're like, oh, this is actually a good bunch of people.
Well,
And I
you
hope
could-
they all live.
Oh,
could
you
like-
mean as in like
Well,
they're acting, or as in
No,
like,
as
their
in the
character?
character themselves.
you could like shitbag characters. I mean, that's certain movies do that where you empathize with the villains, right? because they could be quirkily bad.
Yeah, that's why I like Freddy so much.
I was just thought it was a little. Where was the invitation for you to put your arm? I mean, he was really hot, so I wouldn't mind.
I mean, there really
But-
was no invitation outside of both of them like making fun. And then when he goes to the car,
She did say that him being a mailman was
oh,
really
she
cool.
did say so. That was his invitation. You said that me being a postman was really cool. Like,
I
And,
don't think-
and I mean, she was obviously all like
into it, yeah.
horny chick.
Yes.
'cause
But
she
she's
was
also
like,
wasted and
"Hey,
he's
what's
not.
up?"
So
You
that's
know?
also something I was
was-
like, is he
She
drinking?
was
Well, he was
definitely
drinking, too.
looking for some
But
penis.
yes.
Okay, so here's one thing that really we're missing out on. That Lindsay character was so drunk, and he was so not that was borderline rape.
Well, they didn't do anything. But
Well,
if
no,
they
no,
would
but
have-
leading up to it and his excitement, that he was totally taking advantage of her.
But she literally pulled him to over there. She was like,
Yeah,
"We're
but
gonna."
she was
fuck."
beyond drunk that did not have the faculties that he had. And technically, I mean, he did get a little scared off with the possible false information she's a virgin. We weren't clear on any of
That
that.
actually, that I did enjoy that the other girl was now like
Ruined her plan.
Yeah,
She's
like
like,
she totally
"Careful."
like was like, "You don't want that. She's a virgin." And then he gets scared off by the fact that she's a virgin. So now she's trying to get at him, and it was.
Yeah, like I said, that I was just kind of like, these are all such shitty people. But
Okay.
Mix, a question I have for you real quick. Who would you 10 out of 10 bang? The hot Jew or the hot mailman?
Ooh,
Sandwich, me too.
yeah, yeah.
So chronic masturbator and a piss
Pee pants.
pant pisser.
Yeah, but did you see what
I
they
would do
look
pee
like?
pants definitely.
Really?
Yeah.
There was something about the friend, Pete. I love
Probably
a
because
prominent
he was
nose.
masturbating so much.
Yeah, he was a chronic masturbator.
He
He was
also-
extremely moist while doing so.
Oh man,
Where does that moisture come from?
So I think that's why you were supposed to turn up the volume, is so you could hear when he's masturbating. Because that Foley on that, I think they just stuck a fist inside a watermelon or something. Because
Jell-O.
it was just like,
Just slapping jello.
Maybe the director never masturbated before, so he has no idea what it's like.
that's probably what it was. He didn't know how.
Okay, so
It sounded like he was fingering himself more than that.
Well, considering the noises that Pete made when he was masturbating, it was like,
Oh yeah, and then you can
Yeah, it was
he
like
hurting
He was having a hard time doing it.
does he know how to masturbate?
and that lens was really dirty when he was looking through
dick
it
must
too.
be really raw or something.
Okay, moving forward.
so we'll go into the next part. So yes, as we brought up, that next part starts with their ultra fast movement from the car to the fireplace. Then a scary demon woman that is trying to kill them
Which
is
is
funny
the-
enough for them just to have a ball.
Well, it is their friend, so they're
Their friend that is,
Their-
I mean, I'm assuming that their friend
She
is
has a
always
piece
walk
of-
around naked with blood.
And she has a piece of glass in her hand.
Yeah, which is her weapon of choice, I think.
and P Pants was really excited of the fact like there's a naked girl.
You're right.
in
He
front
was
of me.
very into
He
that.
he was smiling, and the other girl that was now trying to get at him had to like hit him and be like, "Stop
Hey, this
looking
is
at her."
supernatural.
Yeah, like, yeah, he was just grinning from ear to ear looking at her.
yeah, like they weren't even freaked out.
Yeah.
You know, I would have been like, what the
I was grinning too.
I did
'cause-
enjoy that scene though, even though like to me, if they chose they made the choice to not have these characters scared in the initial confrontation, and they're making jokes, and she's like, "I wasn't gonna fuck him anyways," as she's
Yeah.
running away. Like I thought that was funny, and I
No, that was funny.
yeah.
stuff.
So I mean, like I'm not mad at the choice, but it's a little
It was kind of out of place
Yeah.
with things.
It's all about setup, and this is what
Yeah.
this whole thing's missing. You can't tell a punchline without a setup. Punchlines do not always work without setup, and this movie was all punchline, no setup. Okay, so anyways, they eventually run to a house after Lindsay bites Ashley.
Well, they run to
Yeah.
the
She
house.
does.
She
Bite her?
bites her as a mode of attack.
Oh yeah, that's right.
no. She bites Christy. She bites the demon.
Yeah,
girl.
she bites Christy, and then Ashley hits her with a paddle.
Yeah,
She
a
paddles
rowing
her.
paddle.
And they're able to run to the house.
But we are also to assume that the woman covered in blood somehow has super strength more than everyone else.
Did we get that this early? don't
We
remember
kind
if
of
we
do
did.
because I guess we just
She can
assume
breathe
that
underwater. Yeah.
she can breathe on the water for a very long
hours.
time, for hours, because she walked somehow
and keep
into
maintain
it,
blood and
maintain
water
blood.
as well. So
And she got hit in the face with a paddle, like straight on in the head, and just got back up. So we are, I mean, to assume something.
So they run to this house, which, by the way, I believe, based on Lindsay's comments, is supposed to be housed by Christy's grandparents.
The bloody lady.
Yes, but it turns out, as they're trying to get in, that it's housed by someone else. On a real quick note, though, well, okay, so they come, and then we have our Friday the 13th New Blood homage, which is
And Jason X.
Yes, and Jason X somehow, where he gets the girl in a sleeping bag, or she gets her in a sleeping bag, and slams her against a tree.
I thought it was cool.
Well,
That was
it
actually
it's cool, but
This movie's very bloody.
Jason did it better.
Duh. This movie is very bloody, and I like the blood because sometimes the blood is always a weird color or not a
Yes, I
right
agree.
consistency.
No,
I
it was
agree.
good. Blood.
The effects in this movie I think were really, really good.
I
For
agree.
a lot of the things that they did, I think it was really good.
1 point for effects. I think that's about as
I
much
honestly
as
give them a
you can-
couple of points for effects.
We'll not
considering-
talk about that part. Yeah.
Okay.
Stay tuned. It's
I
gonna
feel
get
like
better.
once the whole them getting into the house, that's when the movie turns around and
Yeah,
it's
basically
it
like
gets
her
good.
just
Yes,
chasing.
and
And
I
it gets
agree.
good.
Then you get
So,
into.
so what happens is they eventually do get in the house after Christy kills Lindsay, and
Spoiler.
yeah, sorry. Should we say spoiler at the beginning because this is all a spoiler?
This
show.
is real spoiler heavy Thanksgiving, guys.
Well, people are supposed to do their homework and watch the movie, so,
oh yeah.
and so you can follow along, agree or disagree.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Makes us not here to play, guys.
No,
Okay,
she's not.
so anyways, they get in the house and
You should see how she looked at all of us when she said that.
It was an evil look. And we are greeted by a
Willie Nelson.
backwoods family
Oh.
that has now taken over this house, which looks like they lived there for a while. Looks like it was their home, but no, that's never explained.
No, I think it's Christie's house. It's like Christie's lake house, but because when they're like, "Oh, that's Christie's grandpa," and she's like, "No, it's
so,
not."
Yeah, so it's supposedly supposed to be Christie's.
It's Christie's lake house because the guy's delivering a message to her
Yes.
at
To
this
Christie,
house.
yes.
So I think they just broke into the house, the cult.
Okay. So anyways, the
I don't
cult,
think it's a cult.
the family, the backwoods family.
Yeah.
So it's revealed through this scenes of the father talking and just saying
Felicite.
over and over again
This guy's accent.
that they
Felicite.
that they are actually they use Christie's body to try to bring back the mother, which has passed somehow.
Well, first let's establish who's in the scene.
Yes.
Ashley and James, you've seen the whole movie. We have Felicite,
Which
who
is the daughter of
is the daughter of Willie Nelson.
Which is also apparently one of the creepers.
stalkers.
One of the
Yeah.
stalkers.
Yeah, one of the stalkers. Her brother, I don't know his name.
Another stalker.
Very quiet. I don't think he has line the whole movie, but he's kind of like a.
He has,
silent-
he has,
he calls his dad a bitch.
yeah,
Oh, that's right. Okay.
that was his main line.
Silent,
He waited for
strong
that.
type, kind of would bang. And then the
On the
old
scale?
man dad.
What
Yeah.
scale? On the
Um,
Clydesdale scale. What do you got?
Clyde the horse?
Yeah.
Philip.
7, I guess.
That's the
Oh, he
brother's
gets a
name,
7.
Philip.
Oh,
Oh, his name is Philip. Thank
Like-
you.
Not
Eros.
Black
I
Philip.
was about to bring
It's
it
just
up.
regular
Okay.
Philip.
Okay.
White Philip.
Okay, so anyways,
And then the dad. Yeah.
Yeah,
Did we
and
say
then the dad,
Yeah.
Willie Nelson.
so the dad, I guess, is trying to kill the two. The kids disagree with it as that's not the initial plan,
Mm-hmm.
and they revolt against the dad, and the son kills the dad. Oh shucks!
Before the dad was going to kill Felicity.
I was pretty impressed with that scene
Like as in that they actually did
That the
that?
shotgun?
or-
when he
The
with the shotgun
effects?
when
Yeah.
The
when
effects.
he shot him in the face the second time.
Oh yeah.
That was really
What-
good.
Yeah,
I was
Okay, you know
like,
what bothered me about it though?
What? It
We're in
was too dark.
2019, 2018, maybe when this was made.
Uh huh.
We already know.
Are you
that-
talking AD or?
It was made in 2016.
2016. Okay, well that's not too far off to know the fact that a gun like that will not cause that type of damage. I mean, come on, guys.
It was a shotgun, wasn't it?
no, I think they do. I think shotguns.
Shotguns. Yeah, but from the initial distance that he had,
But it also
it will
depends on the
spread a little
ammunition,
bit too. Yeah, but they tend to spread the shotgun.
which is why your head would explode.
No, you would have to be concentrated for it to explode. It had to be much closer.
We'll
I
experiment
only
with it.
believe him because he's studied this.
I've studied forensic anthropology.
Oh my goodness.
As in special effects, it looked fucking cool.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It did.
It definitely
It
looked
did.
great.
I
It definitely,
agree.
it definitely looked good. I did like that. I just had an issue with how the gun was used in this. But anyways,
Yeah, so we are to believe that they are. Oh,
okay. We should.
P Pants turns around, and while they throw him to the ground, and he's trying to. Which
This is before they kill the father.
yeah, before they kill the father, he is. This guy's a little bitch, like a real little bitch.
He is, and it only gets worse.
Yeah,
throughout the
it gets
movie.
worse. But he ends up, I guess, seen in the other room because we can kind of see it behind him. That there's, I guess, apparently
I think it's the mother's body.
yeah, the mother's body and some sort of pentagram because he just automatically yells out like Satan worshippers or
Yeah.
something like that. So now we are to believe that they are some sort of
I
satanic.
don't know. When he says Satan, the father says something like "you don't know anything" or some shit like that,
Doesn't he?
implying that it's not satanic.
Doesn't he say Felicite?
Yeah.
That's
He
the-
says that multiple times.
His accent was so.
Okay, so let's get through it because I think
That's
we're caught in this. So, anyways, all that happens. The father gets killed. Then they realize that they need to do some type of ritual to stop the demon. So
I believe this is the beginning of the third act.
I believe so too.
Yeah.
Yeah, third act coming.
So the second act was like a good 10 minutes,
Yeah, it really was,
maybe less.
and a very good 10 minutes, Ernest. Okay, so
The father's dead.
The
Now
father's
the
dead.
kids are left, and
and I
daughter's
just want
trying
to say
pick her up.
that. So the daughter freaks out. She wants everyone to look through these passages to find something that talks about reversal.
Banishment.
Yeah,
Yeah,
banishment.
banishment.
Which is not in English, but somehow her screaming like a demon at that girl can now allow her to see.
That's what I
Everything.
thought. That's what I thought
So
too.
that
Was
was-
that what we're supposed to
Yeah,
believe?
that was nothing was explained as why she has some mystical power.
Yeah.
To because the other girl, what's her name? The redheaded girl. She was still
Ashley.
alive. Ashley. So she's reading these and telling the girl, "I can't read these. They aren't in English." And then she,
And then rawr,
yeah, raw. Her eyes.
and she goes, "I can
yeah,
see."
the daughter like eyes glow, and then she's like, "Oh, okay." And then she's like able to read it now.
I didn't get that. I got that she scared her just to shut her up, so she kept looking at the papers, and then she was like, "Oh, I think I can decipher this."
I don't know.
Sure.
I don't
mean,
know.
you're-
I don't know what
You're
was
doing
what,
the director
honestly.
favor. So.
Okay, let's keep going.
So then they find the page on banishing this demon because
Yeah.
now we are to now realize that the girl covered in blood, which was once their best friend, is now some sort of demon.
Yes.
And they have done some sort of writing on the windows in blood to not let this demon in. So they put a protection spell basically on the house. So now they are, running out of time
Yeah.
to make sure that they can do this new spell that the daughter has to kind of tweak a bit to make happen,
Yes.
where all the hijinks ensue.
So this is where we see how stupid the brother is, because in cutting himself to do
touch up the pentagram.
he basically
Slits
slits
his
his wrist and dies.
The right way, and then
So that happens. So that's how the brother dies, and what's the name of the Felicite?
Felicity.
She basically cuts herself in a similar fashion. She survives.
Yes.
So the pentagram
On both wrists for
Yeah.
That's
some
true.
before and after the quote unquote sex scene.
Oh my god.
Yeah. So let's
Yes.
get
So
this.
there's that sex scene.
So the odd thing is that I think they need five
5 points.
people for blood.
Yeah.
And they only have 3 people. This part confused
No,
me.
they have 4 because Philip.
Yeah. The brother was there at the point in time. Then he died. So then
they got 4.
Yeah,
But the fifth one came from Ashley's
She slit
tree.
his throat to get the blood.
to get the blood. So yeah, you're right. So
Because they
5.
also Felicity. Okay, we'll get to that after the sex scene.
But that's all before the sex scene.
No, I know, but so I thought Ashley counted as 2 because I thought she was pregnant, but I was like, wait, she's on her period.
Yeah.
Which
Well,
they talked about.
that's
before.
what
That's
it kinda
technically
hinted.
yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, that's what.
But you can't be pregnant if you're on your period, can you?
No, but I think because of we're to
because
believe.
technically it's
the-
like not her. Well,
You
is
can
a-
have a period if you're pregnant. It's just like
I don't even know if it was that. I think she had to like tweak this whole like spell so much that she was like.
So I understood she basically rapes James. She tells him
I
to
wouldn't
drop
call that
his,
rape.
It was rape.
No, he was into
Yeah,
it.
He
he
was
was very
real
into
into
it.
it.
He got
How
like
did-
hard like instantly. He was
Mix-
probably hard
mix-
the whole
what do you-
time.
He was grabbing her ass too. Like,
Mix, Mix. How did you feel on that?
Did
What
you
do you
feel
think it
that
was?
That was not
Felicite?
rape.
the Felicite rape.
I don't think it was. I mean, he was able to get it up, so
You
I
sound
mean,
like a female rapist.
Oh my god. So basically, she tells him to drop his pants. He drops his pants. She lays him down. She jumps on his dick in her denim high-waisted
And
floor length.
you hear
skirt.
the noise of
And he
it.
doesn't last.
Yeah, and you
He
hear the
lasts
noise of it
6
inserting,
seconds.
and then
Wait,
yeah.
but I have a serious question, guys, and I'm gonna shoot this to Ernest. Would you have lasted that long with Felicite?
Probably not.
I mean, she was
I
pretty.
probably wouldn't even get hard, honestly.
Damn.
Dang, I thought she was pretty. She just the part she was given was not very flattering. So, but I understood that she took her blood out again because she counted as a virgin and then she counted as not a virgin.
So that's two.
That's
different
right
people
because
maybe?
they
Yeah.
asked for the version.
That's what I figured. But
Yeah.
why did she need the period blood?
I
I don't
think
know.
didn't she say something about it being like a
two for like
two for like Mother Nature or something
yes,
like that?
that's
like,
that's what it was. So she was revising
Okay.
this whole spell, and then she kept saying some weird like rhyme that was like something 2 for 1 and 2 for nature, and then mother and this, and then the
Well, this
blood
was
of
my
this.
favorite part because this was the most effective part for me. Go
Okay,
ahead
so-
and explain it, Jared.
Okay.
I just don't understand like what she was trying to like.
So basically, what ends up happening after sniffing her and just saying all these crazy things that
They have mentioned Ashley's period 3 times now in the movie.
and so we get a cup, chalice underneath her,
Yeah.
and Ashley, opens up and pulls out a hyperbolic, unrealistic,
Extremely bloody. tampon.
Bloody.
Very
Tampon.
saturated,
and they squeeze it out in the chalice. And
like a tea bag.
yeah, basically at this point, we have collected blood from
Everybody.
people,
People,
virgins,
from
non-virgins,
Vaginas.
tampons,
Yeah.
and now it's time to drink it. And so we do the rounds here, right? Felicity drinks, and Felicite drinks, and she enjoys. Next one we have Ashley, which doesn't enjoy, but she drinks. And then we come to this mess of a coward. When he drinks it, he cannot swallow.
In his defense, it is very chunky, and you know
Yeah,
where
why-
that chunk
why
came
is it
from.
chunky?
Yeah,
though.
because he gets the bottom of the bowl. That's why.
But that doesn't.
But-
They all bled.
We know where
The-
it came from because everybody was in everybody's arm except for Ashley.
Also,
But there wasn't that many chunks.
no, hold on. I don't know if anybody remembers this. They squeezed out the tampon, and she threw the tampon in the chalice. So,
But where's the chunks? Is what?
but the thing is I'm thinking that last bit that she scoops out is the tampon, and she stuffs it in his mouth, which I can understand
I don't think
why
that's
he
tampon.
doesn't. Why he doesn't want to drink it? It had to be because that's
Are
the
you
only
sure
thing that's
they
left.
threw it in the-
Yes, they did.
threw it in
Yeah,
there.
they
She
did.
threw it in there.
But
Yeah.
that was not
Because at the bottom was the tampon.
Was the
Yes, it
chunky
was-
bits. So like if he's having to drink that, I don't know if I could fucking do that either to save myself from a
I mean,
demon.
I
first of
can.
all, how the hell can you swallow a tampon? You'd have to like
Try
chew it and like.
It was just a bunch of chunky shit that he had to drink.
Yeah.
Nobody else had to
It
drink
was like
the
the
chunky
sediment,
stuff.
right?
Yes,
like
it
at the
was.
bottom
Well,
of
it
the.
worked.
I think
So-
Ashley had a little bit of chunky stuff.
Yeah,
in
she
there.
did. And the Horror Trash podcast would like to let everybody know we know that this is not how periods work. This is strictly
It's not.
for the form of art. I do not think any negatively way about periods, but this made me want to throw up.
But we also support
I just
chunky
don't
stuff.
understand all the chunks.
Clots,
Okay,
blood
okay.
clots.
I know, but like
Sediment. It's a movie.
she must have been like packed in there. For all that shit to be in there.
And she wanted to have sex with the guy.
Oh, that's another point. She was having
That's
sex
why
with him.
she wanted to have sex with him.
That's why that's why I thought they implied that she was pregnant because she was throwing up. But I was figuring why is she drinking if she's pregnant? So like,
Well,
that's-
maybe she'd know.
It's
Well,
true, too.
no, they talked about like something was going on with her.
But, okay. Am I the only one that thinks that you can't be pregnant if you're having a period?
Yes,
Isn't
you
that
are
the
the
only
only one.
You're not. No, I mean, if you're pregnant,
You don't have,
You
a,
don't
period
have a period.
until you have a baby.
It's you can have in the early trimester, can you not? That's the whole point. It comes later.
I don't know. We're not doctors.
I think that
Dr.
if you
Foreman,
have
please.
if you're pregnant and you have your period, I think that's like a
It's a
bad sign.
miscarriage, isn't it?
Yeah, it's like not good.
I'm a doctor.
Oh, thank you, Dr.
Unless
Roa.
she was pregnant and trying
This
to have
movie
a
was
miscarriage.
real.
by drinking and having sex with James.
So going back to it, everybody has to drink this bloody mess in this chalice.
Blood nog.
And Pee Pee Pants can't do it because
And-
he's a little bitch.
Yes, and Ashley's trying to support him to get it done. Instead, he spits on her and it burns her.
And but why is that?
I think
We
because
don't-
they said
we
the
don't know.
seance. They said like the little
Yeah,
ritual
the
seance
ritual
thing.
seance,
So I think
like-
it like made the blood.
I
like,
think, yeah, because the ritual went
You know.
pretty far into it. So it was like partially working
And
by
between
him breaking it.
and between all that, Felicite draws on everybody's stomach with the blood.
A symbol.
true, yeah.
A symbol,
different
yeah,
symbol
a
for
different
each
symbol
person.
on each person, and that somehow is like permeating into their skin.
I
And
felt like it was pregnating them. Like they were
yeah, it's
pregnant.
like their stomachs were doing a weird thing after that, and apparently it was burning everybody.
Well, rewind to the very first scene. Christy had a symbol on her
on the-
stomach, and she had a pregnant belly. We'll soon find out why. Go ahead, Seth.
Okay, so basically, that's the end, right? For Ashley, right?
Yeah, Ashley's face burns off. The demon comes in and eats
Yeah,
her.
no, but James
Oh, he throws her.
throws
at
her
him.
into him.
That's
Into the
true. He throws
the
her
demon
into
busts
Christy.
into the house, and they all freak out. They try to shoot her. She's not dying because she's a demon. She can't die like that. And he he throws her burnt face into the demon so he can get away. And so, what did he say? Fuck that! Or fuck this! And he
Yeah.
basically throws her in the way and like leaves.
I thought that was pretty funny.
Yeah. So him and Felicity bolt out of the house.
Yeah, and they go separate ways though.
Yes.
But Felicity is pissed.
Yes.
Yeah, she's
let's
pissed off
point
at
on
him.
that because that right there was
But she's not. Oh yeah, she was pissed that he threw Ashley.
Yeah.
She
She
was
was mad.
super pissed.
She was very. I was very confused. Is she good or is she bad?
Well, no, she wasn't pissed about it being
Well,
on
first
Ashley.
of all,
She's
he-
pissed because he ruined the ritual.
No,
Yeah,
because
she was pissed about that, but then she
she
then got
stabs
more.
him. She said, "This is for Ashley. For
Yeah.
what you did to
Yes.
Ashley."
And then for her, because she hit him right, she comes back and
Yes.
this is for me.
then she
Yeah,
stabs
because
him.
the 6-second sex. scene.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then she stabs him with the glass or something that
The
she
ultimate
found.
weapon.
Yeah. She stabs him in the neck,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, she kind of.
Yeah, because then she's like super pissed off because it all went to shit because of him. And then she takes off. He tries to go towards, I guess, the ambulance that finally showed up when they made a call. Ambulance.
Ambulance.
Hours ago, apparently.
That's a great Felicity impression.
Felicity.
Ambulance.
Ambulance. Hours ago. And now it's finally showing up. So now everything is all saved.
So
but
now
not
we have
really.
a showdown between
Well,
Felicity and.
first it's not the ambulance inside the.
This took me away. This took me out of the movie for a minute.
Yeah.
Christy, the demon, is
Is
actually a really
driving.
good driver, and she can drive naked.
Well,
And
she was able to run too and like stop and like juke and
That
do
stuff
weird
dries up
moves,
quickly.
like-
So yeah, can you imagine how driving there is going to stick to the seats? Anyway, so she gets there and she basically at this point kills Felicity, right?
In the best special effects scene, in my opinion, of ripping her head in two.
Yeah, that
But
was good.
But
I liked
before
that
that,
as well.
Felicity draws some symbol on her stomach before she gets killed.
So
Yeah,
that-
she
Cuts it into
yeah.
herself.
Oh yeah, they have a little like Mortal Kombat battle there for a second,
Just a
like
quick
with
one,
each
yeah.
other. Yeah, like nobody.
Literally Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
And
There's a fatality.
So then after this, the poor Christy has nothing to do, right? And she's walking into like I guess a neighbor's yard,
hmm
and then I think we pass midnight. I think that's what we're assuming.
No,
right?
we are 3 minutes to midnight when they cut to that scene of that.
Yeah, but-
I remember that one specifically.
But isn't it
3
like
minutes
like
to
because we're
midnight.
past midnight that she just decides to follow?
Yeah, so I mean, yeah, we're assuming that now it has hit midnight, but on that scene, it's
Yeah.
3 minutes to midnight. I don't know why it couldn't be 2 minutes to midnight, but
I
whatever.
don't
That's
know
a
why
good
it could be
reference.
1 minute because it's happened in like seconds after that scene.
Yeah,
So
and
she's walking in the yard and she starts to basically go down. She
Convulse.
starts to
Have cramps.
cramps,
cramps.
And then we get our special effects vagina shot, and something comes out of there.
That
and
was a
it's-
special effect.
I don't know actually. And Ernest, what comes out of Christy?
Felicity.
So
Hey, it's Felicity.
So Felicity comes out of Demon Christy, and Demon Felicity, I think,
Wait.
ends Demon Christy.
that was Felicity?
See, yeah,
I couldn't even tell.
I thought it was.
well,
I mean, I just.
It only
I
makes
didn't know.
would-
I
would
couldn't
think
tell who it was.
You can
I
tell
would think
either?
anybody
No, I
would
was
figure
like,
that because she cut the symbol into herself
Yeah.
before she was killed. So she was just like performing the
So Felicity
ritual so she
was
could come back.
reborn.
Yeah.
Oh, so she topsy turvy this.
All right,
motherfucker.
guys, we've been here for a while, so let's kind of start summing this up. I want to give a few things that I found online about this.
Finn.
IMDb has a 3.8 rating out of 1,731,
I don't agree.
and Rotten Tomatoes has a 24% audience out of 56 people. But there is no tomato meter and no critical consensus yet. For me, I would say that the takeaway from this, besides special effects being pretty decent, Larissa White, which was Ashley, I think she did a really good job throughout. I think she did the best that she could with the material. I think everyone else, even though the material was bad, they still didn't do well. I didn't like any of the acting. I think the acting was terrible. I would say... I would also say if you guys want to watch this movie for whatever reason after we talked about this, don't watch the trailer. The trailer gives... It's a giant spoiler alert, like more than what we're doing. Even the director has went on to say he wished that those trailers didn't exist because they just give too much of the movie away. So I would, don't watch the trailer. Just, if you like the idea of the synopsis, then just watch the movie and see what you think.
Yeah, so to wrap up, I'd actually like to hear from you guys what you thought overall. Would you recommend it? And your baseline.
Yeah, what did you think about it, Mix?
Mix, you go first.
Your overall.
I
Your takeaway.
would have to say that in the beginning I was pretty skeptical as far as like the acting, and I was like, oh, this is pretty typical. They're going with their friends, they're gonna go meet up, at a lake house. Like, I could only imagine what's gonna happen, but it turned around for the better, and it got really good towards the end. So I would definitely recommend this movie to anybody, and just warn them, like, it's a little bit corny in the beginning and the acting's kind of blah, but it gets really good, so just like bear with it. And I liked it.
Ernest.
Tell
Here
them
we
how
go.
you feel, Ernest.
Grandpa
Tell
Ernest.
them how you feel.
No, it's just
Tell them how you love Felicity.
everyone in this movie was like really annoying in the beginning. Like really, like until they get into the house, the beginning of the movie is just it's worthless to me because it's just everyone's annoying. I didn't like anybody. Once they got in the house, then it started getting better. The effects were good. That's really it. I mean, there's no story. There's no main character.
Would you recommend it? Obviously.
You would.
No. If you like just like pretty much anything, yeah, I would recommend it.
If you have no taste or standards, you will love this
I
one.
mean, there's people that like seek out this stuff, so to them, I would recommend it. But
It's nude
I
and gore.
I wouldn't watch it again, and I wouldn't like anybody who's looking for anything with like really good or just like good in general. I wouldn't recommend it.
Roel.
I think it's a watch if you got time to spare. I think the effects were good, really good considering like what the budget kind of seemed like. I think they were actually really, really good. But I love like gore shit like that. Christy was great, but that's just because it's a naked woman covered in blood the entire movie, and she was pretty. James was a piece of shit in
But
this
hot.
movie. I get it, he was hot, but he was the worst postman of all time. But yeah, the first half was god awful. Second half started getting good, and it actually could have had some redeeming qualities, and it could have been really good if they kind of just kept it in that frame and kind of told this backstory a little bit better. And I think this movie would have been so much better.
Would you recommend it?
I probably wouldn't recommend it. I would only recommend it if, like I said, you just want to find some really good effects stuff. Check it out.
Okay, my opinion, being Jared, I did not like this movie at all. It was a terrible setup. The characters were awful. There was no description, no build up to anything. The movie got good to me after the father was killed, but honestly, that would be a lie too. The honest truth is the only reason I think any of us are saying it's good is it became entertaining, it became action oriented, and it became fun. Doesn't mean it was good. It just means that it became better than the terrible beginning. So
It's true. Fair.
the action did pick up and the gore was cool, but I would not recommend this movie at all because overall there was no point even to the cool parts that we're talking about. It was just things that happened. I don't think there was a lot of care that went into making the logic of this world exist to even get us close to this movie in any way. So I would not recommend this at all. So yeah, Galaxy.
Well, I'm about to blow you guys away because I would hardcore recommend this movie. I love this movie. I think it was definitely saved by eye candy. It was saved by special effects. I like that it wasn't hand-fed to me the information, the story. The story is itself, in terms of the mythos and the lore of what they're trying to do, is different, something I haven't seen. Specifically, you know, bringing your mom back by the way of, you know, satanic rituals that end up not working right. But one thing that I forgot to mention that I kind of regret is that the reason why I found out about this movie, because honestly, this movie reminds me of a movie that I would have seen in Fangoria in the 90s and been like, I can't wait for that VHS to come out. I want to see it. There's no reason why it's not more known. I don't know why it's not more known because the quality of the film itself is not cheap. I've seen cheaper movies be advertised a lot more in terms of like when I'm watching, I'm like, who is recording this? The acting didn't make me cringe, but going back to what I forgot to mention, I was listening on Halloween to a haunted synth playlist, and this theme song came on, and I was like, this is a pretty legit theme song. What is it? And it was for a movie called Tonight She Comes, or She Comes Tonight. I don't remember.
Tonight She Comes.
And so I was like, is that even a real movie? Looked it up. Ta-da! Amazon had it. Ta-da! I made you guys watch it. So I don't remember his name. It starts with a W. It's really hard to pronounce, but the musical score guy, he did a good job.
And I will agree with you on that there is creativity in the idea of this. But once again, it's like my opinion on the Human Centipede. You have a creative idea and you're just leading with that.
I would rather watch this a million times than watch The Human Centipede.
Real quick though, if you guys want to support or watch this movie, you could go to Amazon Prime. If you have it, it's there for free. If you saw this for free, you've paid too much.
Oh my god.
It was not that bad.
Yes, it was good. I would watch it again. Probably will watch it again next Halloween.
I wouldn't say that, but I still wouldn't watch it.
I feel like if you're a horror fan and you're into horror movies, then definitely watch it.
Yeah. Into gore.
Boobs and gore and hot guys and hot girls.
Boobs and gore, that's what I'm
And
about.
cheesy, cheesy, corny stuff.
I hope you guys enjoyed it, and we definitely enjoyed recording it. So we will be back next time with a movie that we will announce later on Facebook. Roel, what is our Facebook?
Our Facebook's on Facebook.
Oh.
And then we also have a Instagram, Horror Trash Podcast. So you can find us on there.
Facebook.com/horror trash pod.
Someone forgot the cast. Sorry. So yeah, you can find us on Facebook. You can find us on Instagram, right?
And Instagram as well.
Please like our page, and thank you for listening. If you've stayed this long,
We're going to get better, I promise.
yes, this is just our first. This is our Tonight She Comes episode.
Oh my god. All right, well with
That's what he
that...
said.
Ooh, I don't think he's ever said that actually.
6 seconds.
He's probably said that. But with that, this is Galaxy
Jared.
Roel.
Ernest.
Mix.
signing off, wishing y'all have a great Thanksgiving. Even though you're not going to listen to this after Thanksgiving. Bye.
Bye.
Ow.
Bye.
Bye.